The sun was setting over New York City, casting a warm golden glow on the busy streets below. Inside a trendy restaurant, the energy was lively, with laughter and the sound of clinking glasses filling the air. But at one particular table, something was about to shift dramatically. Chrissy Lampkin and Jim Jones sat across from each other, Chrissy's face showing a mixture of determination and frustration. They had been through a lot in their time together, but tonight felt different. The air was thick with tension, especially with everything that had been going on between Chrissy and Jim's mother. "Jim, we need to talk about your mom," Chrissy said, her voice steady, but emotions clearly present in her tone. "I can't keep pretending that everything is okay when she disrespects me all the time." Jim sighed deeply, rubbing the back of his neck as if trying to find the right words. "I know, but she's my mother. You have to understand where she's coming from." Chrissy leaned in, her eyes burning with intensity. "It's not just about your mom," she said firmly. "It's about how she treats me. You can't keep making excuses for her behavior." The atmosphere was charged, both with unresolved emotions and the weight of unspoken words. Just as Jim was about to respond, his phone buzzed on the table. He glanced down, and his expression hardened as he read a message from his mother. The words on the screen were harsh, accusing Chrissy of causing trouble in the family. "I can't believe this," Jim muttered, his voice rising with anger. "She's texting me right now, saying that you're the one causing drama." He looked at Chrissy, frustration visible in his eyes. "All I'm trying to do is be part of your life, but your mom won't let me." Chrissy's voice rose too, drawing curious glances from nearby tables. "Drama? All I'm trying to do is be with you, and she won't let me. She keeps disrespecting me, Jim." Jim's frustration matched hers. "You're always on her case. Maybe if you tried to understand her better, things would be different," he snapped. Before Chrissy could respond, a figure appeared at the edge of their table. It was Jim's mother, her eyes flashing with indignation. "I've had enough of you disrespecting me, Chrissy," she said coldly. "You think you can just walk in here and take my son from me?" The tension in the room reached its breaking point. Chrissy shot back, standing her ground. "I'm not trying to take him from you, but you need to respect me too," she said, her voice sharp. In an instant, the situation escalated. Jim stood up, trying to step in between them, but Chrissy's words hung in the air like a challenge. "Are you really going to let her talk to me like that?" she asked, her eyes narrowing as she looked at him. Jim's face twisted with conflict. His loyalty to his mother pulled at him, but he could see the hurt in Chrissy's eyes. "Mom, please," he said, his voice wavering. But Chrissy was done. She stood up from the table, her anger radiating off her like heat from a flame. "This is why we can't work, Jim," she said, her voice steady but full of pain. "You let her control everything. You never choose me." Jim's frustration reached a boiling point. He moved toward Chrissy, trying to stop her from walking away. But in a moment of impulsive anger, his hand connected with her cheek. The slap echoed through the restaurant, silencing the room. People gasped in shock as they watched the scene unfold. Jim stood frozen, his heart racing as he realized what he had just done. Chrissy, on the other hand, didn't flinch. Instead, her face betrayed a deep hurt that quickly transformed into a steely resolve. She looked at him, her voice trembling but steady. "Is this who you really are, Jim?" Tears welled in her eyes, but there was something more behind them: determination. "You're choosing her over me?" Jim's heart sank. In that instant, he understood the weight of his actions. "Chrissy, I didn't mean," he began, but she cut him off before he could finish. "No, Jim," she said, her voice unwavering. "You need to figure out what you want. Because I'm not going to be part of this love triangle with your mother." Without another word, Chrissy turned and walked away, leaving Jim standing there, stunned. The quiet of the restaurant closed in on him, and the reality of the situation began to set in. Love, loyalty, and betrayal were all tangled up in a mess he didn't know how to untangle. Jim's mind raced. Was this the end? Would he fight for Chrissy or let his family loyalty tear them apart? The decision loomed large over him, and in that moment, he realized everything was about to change. Their love story had always been complicated, and this was just another chapter in their journey. Despite the drama and tension, the couple had been engaged for years. Chrissy had once said yes when Jim got down on one knee, but they had never tied the knot. Their relationship had been through many ups and downs, and Chrissy had grown tired of waiting for things to move forward. By 2021, after being together for 18 years, Chrissy seemed over the idea of getting married. On VH1's Love and Hip Hop family reunion show, she explained that she no longer saw the point in getting married. "At some point, it has to stop," she said. She shared how Jim had proposed to her, but despite the gesture, she felt like things weren't moving in the right direction. She admitted that Jim had always been focused on providing for his family, but his coldness and distance made it difficult for her to feel fully loved and supported. "You want me to be this loving, caring person, but you come home and you're mean, cold, and distant," Chrissy said, expressing her frustrations. Jim acknowledged his mistakes. He confessed that he had been afraid of commitment and didn't know how to handle it. "I've always been a man of my family," he explained. "I don't want you to think I'm selfish because I love you more than anything." For Chrissy, though, the relationship had reached a point where she couldn't keep going in circles. "It has to stop," she said, frustrated by the constant delays and lack of progress. In a more recent interview, Chrissy reflected on the state of their relationship. She shared that things were steady, but she wasn't expecting any dramatic changes. "We've been together for so long," she said, "that while it's comfortable and familiar, it's not my main focus anymore." Her words hinted that she had accepted the possibility that their love might not end in marriage. Their relationship, which had been a central storyline on Love and Hip Hop, had been full of ups and downs since they first started dating in 2004. While fans had hoped to see them tie the knot, it became clear that the couple had a complicated dynamic. Chrissy's posts on social media also hinted that she might be ready to move on, especially after a cryptic message she posted that seemed to point to Jim, implying that she might be done with the engagement. Though their commitment was often questioned by fans, Chrissy's determination to stay true to herself was clear. She had made it clear that her happiness and well-being were her priorities, even if that meant stepping away from the relationship. Her willingness to speak openly about her struggles showed a sense of personal strength that many admired. The journey of Chrissy and Jim had not been easy, but it had shown that love doesn't always fit into the neat boxes that society expects. They had faced challenges, but their story was a reminder that relationships require growth, respect, and communication. Whether or not they ever married, what mattered most was their ability to support each other and prioritize their own happiness. As they both continue to evolve and navigate their relationship, fans are left wondering whether their prolonged engagement will ever turn into something more, or if they will remain in this uncertain state. One thing is clear, love isn't always straightforward, and sometimes the most important thing is simply being true to yourself, no matter where the relationship takes you.